What screams I peaked in high school? A guy who graduated from my high school back in 2003 was arrested a few years ago for his second DUI. He was wearing his Letterman jacket in his mugshot. I picked up some stuff at my parents' house when I was 25. One of those things is my Letterman's jacket. Put it on, got in the car, had to stop for gas, who happens to be filling their car next to mine. My high school wrestling coach. I wonder how much of a loser he thought I was. I wasn't even that good. Partying with high schoolers when you're 30. Duck, I can't imagine this. I'm 32, and high schoolers seemed ridiculously young to me after about 23. It's strange because when you're 18 you enjoy hanging out with people that age. But when you're 23 like me, high school kids are literally stupid, loud, and just irritating. When I was their age, yeah, I bet older people said the same thing about me, but it's weird seeing it and noticing it be. Sharing every memory from Facebook, talking about the good old days and wish we could go back when it's only been a few years since graduation. I do the opposite. I delete half the memories. Same. I block most of my memories of high school. Still bragging about high school basketball games from 10 years ago. But what if you score 4 touchdowns in a single game? Poor Al. Me, in a horrid realization, in the back of my 92 Camaro, while icing that knee I blew out at the championship game senior year, reading through the divorce papers. Sounds like a Matt Damon movie produced by Adam Sandler, and the mom from Gilmore Girls is the ex-wife. You have a future in Hollywood. Still bullying the nerds at your 10-year reunion. Or worse, in real life. I briefly worked with a guy I went to high school with, and like 90% of our not work related conversations were him reminiscing about how much he bullied me in high school, and acting like it was all a big joke. Imagine being that sad. Selling your pyramid scheme essential oils on Facebook. My cousin uses her daughter's birthday party to sell my grandma and aunt's bad purses. Your cousin is a bad person. I went to school with a girl whose parents graduated from our high school 20 years prior. All 4 members of their family got the school's logo tattooed. Her boyfriend still goes to the football games and reposts his game highlights on Instagram. We're all 21 to 22. I'm from New Mexico and live in the largest city in the state. We've never had a good HS football team, and the BF usually goes to pick up underage girls and brags to everyone about how he was the star football player. If someone from another team makes a really good play, he'll make some kind of remark about how he could done it better, or he'll go into a detail about his JV football experience. Still wearing your Letterman jacket in class, ring in your 30s. Talking about high school sports games from a different decade as if they meant something. Still living in your hometown and looking forward to that night at the bar just before Thanksgiving when everyone who left comes home, so you can talk about high school stuff to people who have grown up and have real lives now. That last one is oddly specific, haha. Teachers who suck up to the athletes and other popular kids and ignore the less popular kids. My freshman year Spanish teacher was like that. At my high school, a coach was worshipped by the girls basketball team. My first year of college, it came out he had been grooming the girls since middle school, 2012. Suddenly a lot of petty fights between the girls made so much sense. We had a high school coach that all of the female athletes used to hang around. He was eventually fired and arrested for sleeping with an underage student. As someone who recently graduated, the students who returned to the school every time they came home from school, just so people would pay attention to them. Also not sure how to explain it, but the people who now posts blank screens and just text on their Snapchat stories that just say things like always crazy to see who you can really trust when this happens, or surprising to see who really cares about you when you need friends the most. Like I said, I don't know how to explain it, but there's definitely a correlation. 1 strap. Everybody knows 2 strap is the thing now. I do 1 strap so my back doesn't sweat though. I really don't see what this has to do with peaking in high school at all. People who say high school is the best time of your life. Yeah, but one of the cool things about high school is that you get to see most, if not all, of your friends every day. Can't say the same about adulthood. At my 10-year reunion, the prom queen came wearing a tiara with a custom Queen 03 sash over her shoulder. I had to go outside, I was laughing so hard. But I'll be damned if she didn't rock that outfit the whole time. So, respect. Still sad though. Was the sash from back in the day, or did it appear to be newly made for the occasion? No, it was new. I dated a guy with his high school mascot tattooed on his arm. It was such a turn-off. We used to play indoor floor hockey in a loft room in the big gym of my middle school. One game I scored 3 goals, one of them being a bank shot off the wall. The next year I wrote about the game for an assignment in English class and the teacher read it to the class the next day. I'm not sure which one was my peak. Wearing your high school ring after graduation. Lol, I didn't even bother to pay for one. I did however wear my dad's old one for laws and completely convinced this girl I was 66 because of the graduating date. I'm almost 30, but I look 18. Told her I had a metabolism defect. A Slipknot tattoo, an older model Honda Civic, and an assistant manager job at Pizza Hut. I feel like you just described the guy who ducked your prom date with all that specificity. He actually described 78% of Pizza Hut assistant managers. A guy graduated 2 years before me, in 2006. He got a job as a school narc my senior year. Basically a job that is somewhere below security and barely a step above student. We had our 10-year reunion last year in the school gymnasium, and there he was, with his sunglasses on at 8 PM, sporting a sweet Flavor Saver and Dickies shorts, with his black socks pulled up to his knees, as was the fashion for all the brothers at my high school when we attended. He was making his rounds, trying to enforce every single rule that was imposed on students. Meanwhile, we are all 27 to 29 years old, and nobody is taking his poop. Eventually someone told him, "You were a ducking tool in high school, and nothing has changed. Get lost, narc." He then started listing every girl he boned in high school. It was hard watching that guy spiral so hard, while everyone was laughing at him. Edit, a Flavor Saver is a nickname we give for the patch of hair that grows directly under your bottom lip. It's a Flavor Saver because when you go down on a woman, the juice gets in there and you can taste it later. It's just a joke we'd say cause it was very popular amongst the bro crowd in high school. Basically a guy who tries really hard to be a hardus because they couldn't grow beards or mustaches, but could attain one of those. Huge social media presence, full of interactions with people from high school that you are "friends with" but never spend any time with in person. Dropping out of college to promote your pyramid scheme. The class that graduated before me had their 10-year reunion last year and apparently a big fight broke out over something that happened when they were all still in high school. I guess that is one way to tell if someone peaked in high school. Pretty embarrassing. Wearing your class ring. Like, why were they a thing at all? They were so chunky and ugly and cost like $70 on the low end. $70? Damn, that's cheap. The greasy class ring company that my school went through started at $400 CDN. The only person who imagined buying one probably also got their parents to shell out for a limo ride to prom. Still drinking in the same pub you drank in as a student, because that's now full of students. So you're that guy or girl who never left home and drinks with school kids much younger than you. I get older, they stay the same age. When I was in high school, this guy a year before me had a fearsome reputation. At house parties, people would fear him just by name alone. He would show up to parties with his cronies and start fights. He came from a decent enough family. Everybody wanted to be on his good side. Anyway, he graduates high school, and most of us were still in 12th grade. I remember he used to come around lunchtime to smoke with the people out front, shoot the breeze, and talk about how much fun it is to just sleep in and do nothing and have all this freedom. A couple of months of cool. 2. Why are you still here? As we awkwardly shuffled back to class. I did some work at a guy's house when I was about 20, when I was on summer break from college. I was doing some landscaping and such. This guy was a cop, about 35, and was married with a pretty nice house. I would work there, and he would pop over to the house once or twice a day for lunch, or whatever, and would check on how the work was going. But one day he tells me to come to the garage with him. He is searching around the garage for something, but won't tell me what. Finally he finds a box with his old homecoming crown from high school, when he was named Homecoming King. He started talking about how high school was such great memories and all that. He was trying to show off, and thought I'd be really impressed. But I was really embarrassed for him, to be honest. Never advancing your life past the moment when you graduate. I have a cousin who still lives with his parents, has had the same job he had since junior year, and has done all with his life. Alternatively, I have a cousin the same age still living with his mom, but he's going to college and taking care of his grandmother. I think he wants to make it as a concept artist, but he's working on a fallback degree before he makes the big leap. Huge difference.